Figure TV. Peace alert, peace alert. Peace alert, peace alert. I want unity in the community, man.
Larry Hoover, through his lawyers seeking early release from multiple life sentences, a special program passed by Congress known as the First Step Act.
Free Larry Hoover. Free Larry Hoover. Free the elder, Larry Hoover.
In some cases, allowing early release for certain rehabilitated prisoners.
Yeah, he
wearing a tan long-sleeve shirt, glasses, and a gray beard, a shackled Larry Hoover in Florence, Colorado, appearing on the monitors in a Dirksen federal courtroom here in Chicago, the 73-year-old founder of the notorious gangster Disciple Street Gang, testifying from the ADX Supermax prison in Colorado. I'm a completely different person than the man who went to prison in 1997, Hoover said in a low voice. I'm very reflective here at ADX. You're locked up at least 21 hours a day. I have no desire to run the GDs or to be involved in any criminal activity. I'm past that part of my life. But the U.S. Attorney's Office for the
21 hours a day is cruel and unusual punishment. That's a scientific fact.
Northern District of Illinois vehemently opposing the early release of Hoover, arguing that he still asserts leadership when it comes to the gangster disciples, also known as the GDs. In the courtroom, federal prosecutor Julia K. Schwartz arguing that Hoover's done more damage to the city of Chicago than any defendant that's come through here before.
That's a lie. Let me, because I'll probably forget the lies by the time. Let me deal with that lie. That Mr. Hoover, the elder, has brought more damage to Chicago than anybody that has ever come through the court system. Oh, ma'am, you going to hell with gasoline draws on. You liar. Shame on you, ma'am. Shame on you. Are you out of your mind? You have cartel figures coming through them courts all the time who have thousands of bodies on their record, that they've murdered. Hundreds of thousands they've murdered with drugs. What the hell are you talking about, man? This man is the most destructive. Ooh, you racist bastard. You have bikers, Hell's Angels come through there who has had more power than Mr. Hoover, who has trafficked narcotics, put hits on judges and DAs and police. Do you want me to do I have to dig up the record of the Hell's Angels to show you you're a liar, ma'am? You are a damn liar. You got people coming through that courthouse, ma'am, with 7-8 bodies apiece. Hell wrong with you lying on that man. He's been the most destructive. Have you ever heard of the mafia? Ma'am, you got the Chicago mafia. And I'm not talking about them judges and them police officers, ma'am. I'm talking about the ones y'all call the criminals, ma'am. Who are you, a liar?
In today's government filing, the United States of America versus Larry Hoover, a.k.a. the chairman and the king, the feds arguing, quote, Hoover has well earned his life sentence and he is not the type of defendant Congress intended to benefit.
Now, who was the type of defendant that Congress intended to benefit? If it wasn't Mr. Hoover, who was the type of person? And I want to make this clear. I have nothing against Gangster Williams. You know, Gangster had 40 bodies. He on TV talking about it, doing interviews. You have a man on there, like Gangster Williams, who bragging about. He trying to help the kids. Now I got to tell that truth, but he not bragging. I'm not gonna say bragging. He telling his stories. Let me correct that, just to keep this righteous. Gangster on social media talking about 40 bodies, and y'all let him out. What are you talking about? We also have the man from the mafia who was with Gotti. He's all over the internet with plenty of bodies, and y'all let him out. What the hell are y'all talking? What we talking about here? Sammy the Bull. Come on, do you know how many mafia figures bragging on Vlad TV about all the people they killed? Y'all let him out. Alpo. Ooh, you gotta tell it all. Alpo about all his 12, 13 bodies. And some say it could have been a higher number. Y'all let him out. You convicted that man for murder. He was the leader of a gang. Stop it. Who hasn't been the leader of a gang now? Everybody, every penny gangster got a documentary, they led something, sent somewhere, and done some dirt. So Congress absolutely wanted people who have changed and who may have been over-sentenced. Mr. Hoover definitely was over-sentenced for his crimes, man. Oh, most definitely. He's a changed man. See, this is one thing I don't like about this wicked land of America, who, when y'all should be the last people to question anybody's second chance, they redemption story. I'm just telling the truth. I'm just telling the truth. The U.S. government, especially prosecutors like y'all, should be the last person to look at Mr. Hoover and question his Saul to Paul story. I had done a live one time, and I said Mr. Hoover is the example of Saul to Paul. I thought this was a Christian nation. Have you read the good book lately? Do you know who Paul used to be? And greater is he who is in us than he who is in the world. So we are just like those biblical figures. Those are our ancestors. So that's the ancestor of Mr. Hoover. Saul was a Christian killer. Boy, he was going to spit on him. He was going to drill him. When he seen him, he was going to step on him. Saul used to be a big stepper. But on the road to Damascus, you know I'm a son of a preacher. On the road to Damascus, he was struck down by the Most High. He went blind. He couldn't see. He had to go down to the river and get some help. You see, like Mr. Hoover had to go down to the belly of the beast prison to get some help. And then somebody by the river put some mud on Saul's eyes. Somebody in prison, they put some mud on Mr. Hoover's eyes. And then Saul went from the Christian killer to the Christian savior. He became Paul. Then Mr. Hoover went from the chairman to a redemptive figure, want to do right by his community and help his fellow brothers and sisters until he transitioned, you see? The Saul of Paul story. Yeah, at one time he may have preyed on the community, then he went to protect the community. Now, that's a fact. How y'all wicked people act like y'all don't know the good book? A man cannot change his life. Who are y'all to see after all these years and talk about the past? Oh, we're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to allow a man to change. Who can come now before us and look at this brother and say, oh no, he haven't changed. What you do is you go back all those years later, and then you got the audacity to say, no, he's still a leader. That is a see, you just lied in court, man. There should be some charges. That is serious business, man. You cannot prove this man still leading that set. You have lied in court, man, and perjured your goddamn self.
Enacting the First Step Act. Indeed, if he were sentenced today, Hoover would receive the same mandatory life sentence. But after today's hearing, Larry Hoover's loved ones and attorneys, along with many supporters, arguing that Hoover is a changed man.
That's right.
He can do much good if he's released.
That's right.
It was good to hear his voice. It sounds like, to me, he was a bit nervous. But, it's his life that he's dealing with.
He is not associated with the gang and hasn't been for many, many decades. But he probably has some insights into how we can make life better for young people so that they don't turn to gangs.
That's right. He definitely can. Let teach the youngsters and keep teaching individuals like myself. When I think about my change from where I went from, I think about Mr. Hoover. You know how you can use your past and turn it into something that somebody can learn from. And those who don't believe, the hell with them, because there's always some who understand and who want to listen and who want to take something from what you've been through and build on it. We want to hear from Mr. Hoover. We want to go sit with him, hug him, shake his mighty hand and tell him, welcome home, brother, welcome home, you made it. We want to do that. And y'all would not deny us that. And I have a problem with the Congressional Black Caucus not standing up at a time like this for this brother, bro. That's serious business. Why they won't stand up for us? Remember, Trump, the one who put the First Step Act out. Why, Joe Biden, you prosecute, you and Kamala Harris, you done so much wrong in our community. Why can't y'all stand up for us one time? A consensus is saying bring this man home in our community. Can y'all, for once, do the right goddamn thing? Kofi, follow me.